welcome back to another All Heart video. For today's video, I wanted to concentrate on continent boxes. One of the wonderful things about the Montessori curriculum is its emphasis on learning about different cultures, different people, and really diving into learning and discovering about different places. Now, in actually a few of our previous videos were all on geography and the continent. So this is a perfect continuation to these lessons. So once your child really has a good understanding and being able to identify all of the different continents, then you can go ahead and start creating these continent boxes for them to really be able to explore them further. And you can really take them as far as you want. You can go ahead and start creating your boxes with just perhaps 2 or 3 countries within a continent, or you can, go as wild as you want and really customize each individual box. I wanted to show you the types of things that I've included in my children's continent boxes. Hopefully it'll give you a few ideas. You don't have to include every single thing that I did. But it is kind of nice to have at least a little bit of information as far as the types of things that you may want to include. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So this is what I decided to use for my children's continent boxes. So these are actually craft boxes, and I was so lucky to have been able to find these at our local Michael's. I did have to go to 3 different ones because each one only had like 2, and I needed 7 boxes for all 7 continents. Now, you don't need to use boxes. I've seen some parents use like little zippered pouches or even just folders. So don't think that, it's required to use boxes, and you can use whatever size you want. It really all depends on the items that you're going to want to have inside of each of the boxes. You do want to make sure that you include at least a picture of the continent that your child is working on. That way they're able to identify the continent and particular box that it pertains to. And then I also made sure to label it as well. Some people like to paint the entire box the corresponding color. So like for Asia, they would have painted the entire box yellow. I kept it nice and neutral because I want to be able to utilize these boxes for different activities later on. But like I said, you can really customize your box however you want.
So these are all of the continent boxes stacked together, and as you can see, they're not going to take up as much room as some of the other continent boxes that I have worked with. I really like this size in particular because they're about half the size of a regular shoebox. So these were absolutely perfect for what I needed them for. So my son decided that he wanted to work on the continent box of Africa. Now, each of the continent boxes has a map included. Now, this is one of the largest maps that I included, but I like this one because it does have all of the different countries within the continents. And it's nice because when we are working with different objects, then my son or my daughter is able to identify what country it is from. So I like the size of this map because it's easier for them to be able to identify all of the different countries. The next item that I included in all of the boxes was different examples of currency found within the continent. So I wanted to include different examples of the currencies within different countries just to give my son a few different examples. So some currencies from Kenya, the currencies from Egypt, the currencies from South Africa, and so on and so forth. So it was nice for him to get a really good visualization of what the currencies look like in comparison to the currencies that he's used to, which is the United States dollar. The next item that you'll find in our boxes are cards of the natural wonders found within Africa. So it was really nice to be able to go through these with my son, not only for language development, but it was really nice for him to be able to hear the pronunciation to a lot of these. And it also helped with his descriptive words, because I was asking him to kind of describe the pictures that we were seeing. And I made sure to include all of the different flags so that it would be easier for him to identify where that natural wonder was found. So it's just further reinforcement of, all of the flags that he's learning. And it's also really nice, especially with the Sahara Desert, for him to be able to see how vast it is and how far it extends into basically all of the different countries within Northern Africa. Now, there are a few instances where I decided to include the 3-part cards, and this is one of them. So for all of the natural wonder cards, I did include the 3-part cards, and that's just because I wanted to give my son some more practice, and I wanted to make sure that he was memorizing all of the different natural wonders for all of the continents. The next item in our boxes are flowers, and I made sure to include a variety. There are so many beautiful exotic flowers in Africa, so there were just so many to choose from. So I just chose the ones that I thought would be most interesting to my son. And if you happen to have any of the little corresponding objects, I would definitely suggest that you include them within your boxes. This was one that I had from our spring activities video, so it was nice that I was able to include some of these. And I definitely wanted to make sure to include the King Protea flower because it is the national flower of South Africa. The next item in our boxes are different examples of foods. I think it's important to make sure to include a lot of the different foods found within different types of countries. It really was nice to be able to discuss the different types of ingredients that they use. We even looked up a few recipes for some of these to see how each of these recipes were made. So it's something that we are going to explore further and even create some of the recipes from these cards. So it was really nice that I was able to include these for him. The next item that I included were the different animals found within this continent. And Africa is just such a wonderful continent to really dive into the different animals that are found there. And it was nice because not too long ago we were able to go to the zoo and actually take a look at some of these animals for ourselves. So in the box I included different pictures of the different animals that are found within Africa, as well as some of our corresponding Holt's Tiger toys. So it was nice for him to be able to match the card with the animal and be able to identify where they came from. So along with the different animals in Africa, I wanted to make sure to include some of the birds. And it was nice because a lot of these birds are birds that my son has never been introduced to. So it was nice for him to be able to make some new discoveries this time around. And it was also a really nice surprise for him to be able to see that there are even penguins that live in the continent of Africa. So he really did enjoy that I was able to include these in the box. So if you are not new to the channel, then you know that my son is learning how to play the piano. So he was very interested in discovering the different types of instruments that are played within different countries within Africa. A lot of these were instruments that he has never seen before, so it was nice for him to be able to kind of guess how each of them were played. And then we were able to look up videos just to kind of show him different examples of how they're played, what they sound like. So it was a really, really nice discovery for both of us to be able to go through all of the individual instruments that we were able to find and kind of discover them together. So the next item in the boxes are different landmarks within the continent of Africa. So I again included the 3-part cards to these so that it could help him reinforce everything that he's learning and really memorize all of the different famous landmarks. And again, it was really nice to go through all of these and even see if we could kind of compare what they look like and see any similarities between other landmarks from different countries. And again, I made sure to include all of the different flags at the very top hand corner to help him memorize the country in which these landmarks were found. So this was another instance where I decided to include the different objects for my son and daughter to be able to match them with the corresponding card. So this is the Great Sphinx of Giza, and I believe the other one that I had were the Pyramids of Giza. So it was nice that he was able to match all of the different landmarks from Egypt, and even with the large map that I showed you at the very beginning, he's able to identify where Egypt is and where the landmarks would come from. So the next items that I included in all of the boxes were the different flags for each of the countries in that continent. And Africa is made up of so many different countries. So this one did take a while to do, but it was nice for my son to be able to see all of the different flags, all of the different colors that make up the flags. And again, I decided to include the 3-part cards because there are so many flags to memorize. And this is one, the Egyptian flag, is one that he's very familiar with, especially after seeing all of the landmark cards. He was very easily able to tell where all of the landmarks were found because all of them had the same Egyptian flag. I also made sure to include kind of like an answer key for each of the different continents. So all of the boxes include all of the different flags for each individual continent within one sheet. So it's just easier for him to be able to see and identify them all quickly from that one sheet. So the final item in the box were just some postcard-like facts of some of the different countries found within Africa. So it was nice to be able to go through all of the different pictures and have my son just read a little bit about some of the countries.
We were returning from the Monia to market in Cameroon. Best spices are in Egypt offer many spices for sale. Ooh, that one didn't like marshmallows. Spice. In Libya, many homes are built into the ground to keep the people cool. Oh. Crazy. What? I never heard of anything like that. These are enjoying themselves and for their start in Madagascar. Hey, Mommy. Camel help people travel through the desert of Africa. I knew that.
Cool. So those are all just different facts about different countries in Africa.
Yeah.
So all of the continent boxes have the same items. So the only difference between the boxes are the little objects and the animals, the whole tiger animals that I included in there. But besides that, all of them have different foods, the music cards, flags, landmarks, natural wonders, currency. So I made sure to include all of the same information in every single box, which is why I didn't show you every single box because that would have taken forever, but hopefully that was enough to give you just a little bit more information and just a few more ideas of the types of items that you can include in your children's boxes. They were a lot of fun to create. My son just absolutely loves being able to go through each individual box. He was just like a sponge, just really absorbing all of this new information, and I'm excited to keep kind of changing the boxes up and really focusing on individual countries in these different continents.
And that will do it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was informative. If you still have some questions for me, please leave them down in the comments below. And please make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and remember to ring that notification bell so that you are notified of when I next post a video. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We will see you back here very, very soon.